All right.
Welcome everybody to Meet with Cheese Metaverse interviews. I'm your host, LeDrop WithCheese, coming to you from the Metaverse as always. Today, I have a spectacular guest for you. He is an avid NFT collector. Now he's collecting ordinals. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Dean Harrington, or as I like to call him now, Dean FT. Welcome.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. Great introduction. Hope I can live up to that. Yes, I do love NFTs. I collect many, as I've learned from others, that I'm probably a little too much into the NFT space, but it's what I enjoy. And I think that's the best way to be in this space. You know, whatever you're passionate about, specifically in this space, pursue that, because you'll learn the fastest, and you'll probably, you'll run into other people that share the same passion, like Joey, for example. And yeah, then I don't know, it's fun. It's just fun connecting with everyone in this space. So.
Yes, and I love collecting. I still am an avid NFT collector. Like, I don't think there's been more than maybe 4 or 5 days in a row in the last 2+ years where I haven't acquired new NFTs. So you and I are both have that.
We're the same in that regard, man. I buy NFTs pretty much every day. Yeah, it's hard not to. I don't know. It's just, you start seeing all of the news. I mean, you have what was it recently? eBay launched their NFT marketplace, so very bullish. Then you had Amazon. They're going to launch their NFT marketplace, in April, I believe, end of April. And then, of course, the old news last February was the New York Stock Exchange filed a patent for a NFT marketplace. So, you just see the space moving forward. It's always counter the mainstream narrative, of course. Everyone's saying NFTs are a joke. Oh, okay, so why are the biggest brands on the planet developing NFT products and services during the worst crypto winter that I know of? I mean, maybe the one in 2017 was comparable, but just saying, that's how far the space has come. So anyway.
Yeah, I love seeing the mass adoption happening, especially with like institutions, because they're the slowest to act. But like you said, New York Stock Exchange is, eventually everything's going to be an NFT, and we need to embrace this new technology that's going to help us all. Okay, that's all they really need to understand. It's that
easy. Because really it's just this simple. I mean, Ethereum's going to be fine. It's probably already captured more or less. Most of the nodes are ran on AWS, Amazon Web Services. So, in some regards, but it's still an improvement. Everyone complains that it's not perfect. It's not as decentralized as Cardano, for example. However, it is a step in the right direction. And to have a truly decentralized world, it's going to take time. And in my opinion, they just took the Trojan horse. They accepted it. Eventually people will choose decentralization. And the fact that the central banks all over the world are even talking about creating central bank digital currencies, it's just, this is the new world we live in, and people just have to accept it. And NFTs especially, like, I don't know. Do you want me to keep going, or I can go on rants if you'd like, man.
It's always great talking to you. You have a lot of knowledge about the industry, and that's why I'm
learning too. That's the thing, though, man. I'm learning like everyone else. This space is so new and it's so exciting, but that's why, like,
yeah. But a little bit about your background. Like, how did you first get into crypto and NFTs? Like, what did it for you, and when was it?
I've been trying to think about this recently, but I'll say this: crypto absolutely helped me escape poverty, and I will always be grateful and have a passion for it because of that. And then now NFTs, that's a whole other passion in a different direction. But anyway, probably the first time I tried to get into crypto was probably 2015. I tried to mine Bitcoin from my laptop. Remember back in the day when you could get one of those USB miners and you could plug it in your laptop, you can actually mine a little bit of Bitcoin. And so then I thought, well, I had a few $100s. I didn't have any money. I was down on my luck. And I tried to buy a mining contract for Bitcoin in the Netherlands. And it was a rug pull, of course. Lost all my money. And the laptop that I mined whatever amount of Bitcoin it was, that is gone now, as classic story. So who knows? Probably not much Bitcoin, because I didn't know what I was doing back then. But anyway, so I quit crypto for a while. Then fast forward, what, 2016, 2017, around that time, I think, you know, it was kind of getting mainstream attention a little bit here and there. Bitcoin was again. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to try this again. So I just kind of got back into it. And then I really got serious about it around 2017, 2018, I would say. And then just fumbled and, you know, just got wrecked like a lot of people did. Climbed my way up, and then eventually 2020, you know, with the lockdowns and everything, then I went really hard into crypto because I was like, okay, now I think I understand. Now I think I've learned more about the space in general. And then I allocated whatever capital I could. It, you know, there was the bull market, so it was a nice feeling. And then we got wiped out again. So, but before the crash, I started, you know, whenever NFTs were kind of first gaining traction, even in the crypto industry, I started buying on Veve, for example. So whatever time frame, whatever Veve first launched, I'm trying to think of the dates. I don't even remember at this point. But very early to Veve, that was my, you know, first love for NFTs, because I grew up, when I was a kid, I used to collect trading cards and comic books and everything else. So, you know, NFTs just made sense right away as far as, you know, collectibles. I know we've probably talked about this before. And so then I just, that was the bug. And then I started getting into wax NFTs, which, you know, the NFT OGs, they love wax, but not many other people know or care. But I believe it's going to be a great platform to onboard millions of users. I really believe that. I love wax. So those were my two first introductions. And then I kind of stayed away from Ethereum NFTs at first, because that was the big leagues and I was just learning. And so I focused more on like Chronos, DeFi, like their NFTs, which I'm very bullish on Chronos Gaming, for play to earn gaming. I think everyone should look into them. Not financial advice, of course, but anyway, I digress. So I fell in love with Wax, Veve, Chronos, you know, Chronos NFTs early, and then I've kind of just gone into hardcore into Ethereum NFTs. You know, all the big projects on this, you know, on Ethereum for play to earn gaming, because I really believe that is where the future is going to be. I think we're going to figure out the tokenomics, which has always been a problem for play to earn gaming. I think that's going to be one big use case. Collectibles, of course, because the data is there. I mean, there's a lot of money that's going to come in from Wall Street for collectibles, especially the big brands for NFTs, as you know. Joey's giving me some good alpha as well. So anyway, yeah, I don't want to keep talking too much, but here we are to this day. I am so bullish on NFTs in general. I think NFTs are the move more so than crypto, and I believe we're going to see more of a decoupling. And I think they're just kind of going to go their own ways. But of course, you know, the tokenomics will still be tied to crypto tokens with a lot of the gaming and the metaverse plays. But anyway, I hope that answers your question, Joey.
Yeah, absolutely. And learning more about you even on this conversation, even though we've had a chance to.
We've hung out a few times, some good parties in Miami, man.
Yeah, I down in Miami in December, right? You came to my.
I believe it was. Yeah, you had the house and you were doing the cool videography stuff. Well, where was that? It was Web3 week. It was Art Basel that week, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have some funny videos of you getting cheese poured on you, man.
Yes,
you're a character, bro.
Cheese, you know, I figured something crazy, and it was beautiful weather. Let's do something outside. And
I like it, man. I like your marketing. You know, you have a good way of bringing people together. I met a lot of cool people, you know, from you connecting everyone. I'll put it that way. So that was cool, man. Like, you had some good events. It was fun. So
yeah, I appreciate that, man. And thanks for coming to that event. I'll be doing another Miami for Bitcoin Miami in May. So I will definitely be seeing you.
We'll meet up. Yeah, we'll meet up.
Yes, for sure. And
what about you? And what about you, man? I'm sorry. Like, when did you first get into NFTs? If you don't mind me asking. I mean, I'm sure you've told people this, but
no, I mean, this is definitely like an NFT collector conversation.
I know. You are. I know you. I know you're an NFT big collector, so I respect it. So when did you first get into it, man?
I want to say it was like just 2.5 years ago. So right before 2021 started, I just, basically was on Twitter and people are talking about NFTs. And I'm like, what are these NFTs that everyone's talking about? And then I quickly learned, I'm like, oh, it's just a contract that made by a creator for an end user. Everything's going to be an NFT, like, fast forward of how this new technology is going to actually affect all of us. And I just started buying on Ethereum. That, you kind of started slow. I'm like, I'm just going to get whatever's on.
You went right at it, man. That's cool.
I did,
Yeah.
but it was like my first ones that I actually found really useful, a lot of traction were NBA Top Shot.
Oh,
I
yeah.
bought I
Yep.
bought a pack of cards, and then I popped a $300 NFT that I just immediately sold. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just made 300
Oh,
bucks.
so you flip NFTs then? Okay, cool,
Yeah,
man.
I mean, most of my stuff I hold, especially nowadays. But in the beginning, the market was so hot when it was
Oh,
bullish.
it was crazy. I remember those times. Yeah.
So NBA Top Shot, I was flipping. Nifty Gateway was really good too.
Yeah, you introduced me to Nifty. Thank you, man. I I vaped in for sure. It's a
Yeah. And now
good
Starbucks
spot.
on Nifty Gateway.
Yeah, yeah,
I did
man.
flip the Starbucks NFT recently.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that, man. That's good. Like, but it's cool. Like, it was funny because when I met you, like, you're one of the very few people I've met in NFTs and in the space in general, even in crypto, just anybody that was actually buying the big brand NFTs. Like, I think that's such a smart move, honestly. So, like, we instantly connected in that regard, man. Like, you
Yeah,
see it, man. Those big brands, like, why are the brands getting in? Especially when things are bad, It's
right.
yeah.
Exactly. They get it. But yeah, so early on, those were some of the marketplaces. But then I'm like, okay, I am LeDrop WithCheese now, an NFT blogger. And I'm like, it's important for me to kind of check out every marketplace. So I literally set up an account, attach my wallet to, you know, I want to say like 50 different marketplaces. So like I can go on.
I've done something similar, man.
I just like you, sports cards collecting. I like got cards here that I still
Oh, you
buy
still have some? Awesome,
baseball
man.
cards.
Yeah. Everyone I meet that's big into NFTs, they have the similar background, man.
Yeah, I had so
Yeah.
many baseball cards as a kid, and then you know that mindset of collecting and understand rarities and value of the individual card. And then yeah, man, it's just been a wild ride because like I don't have any like Bored Apes or Crypto Punks. I missed that boat.
Oh, me
Uh,
too, man. Like, yeah.
I was more into sports NFTs, so like Autograph.io, which is Tom
Oh,
Brady's
I love it.
form.
On DraftKings. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get those on there.
Yeah, so all the sports ones I have, Sweet was a big one that I have hundreds, and Wax, I have an enormous collection on Wax as well that I'm
What do you
holding.
like on Wax, by the way, if you don't mind me asking?
I like the DC stuff, but I try to get obviously the lowest edition number available and the
Oh, yeah.
smallest quantity sizes because DC kind of, they're like, oh, we have 500,000 NFTs in this round that we're dropping. And it's like, well, you just kind of devalued your brand a little bit by making so many quantities. But the early ones I liked a lot. You know who Ken Bozak is?
No, man, I'm not familiar.
He's big in Miami. He's like a Bitcoin OG.
See, like, I don't socialize much, man. I'm kind of a recluse. I just do my own thing. But Alex drags me out, and like when you're in town, I'll come out. But yeah, so I
Yeah.
don't know. Like, people always drop names. I'm like, dude, I'm just so clueless on these people. I should know them apparently.
Well, he's like one of the more influential people in Web3, and he has a whole bunch of Wax NFTs that I think are really cool. That I have like
Oh, nice.
those, and yeah, man, it's not stopping. I get the Shark Week NFTs. I got Starbucks. I'm trying to these people that are loyal to these big brands. they're going to create that economy of value for.
Absolutely.
Then it's the brands just have to show up with a solid product. It doesn't have to be revolutionary, but
no, it just has to be Gen 1, you know, like Nintendo sucked at first, but it was the coolest thing in the world because it was unique, you know. It's just this creation, these new metaverses, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. So nowadays, what's the hot thing? You've been collecting Bitcoin Ordinals, I hear.
I actually like Ordinals, but I'm still learning like everyone. I mean, most of them may not be that valuable someday, but then again, they might. You know, if you get low enough of an ordinal inscription number, I don't know. Like, what are you? Are you into ordinals as well? Like, what do you think? Like, what are you thinking about ordinals at this point?
I see it as it's almost like history repeating itself with Ethereum NFTs. It's like people are choosing to burn their Ethereum NFTs, and then that image that's burnt inscribe on a Satoshi as a Bitcoin ordinal, which I find interesting. It's not very common, but Bored Ape member did that. So his Bored Ape will forever live on the Bitcoin blockchain,
which is technically the best blockchain. Let's face it. You know, I mean, for security, decentralization, it's the best. So it makes sense in some ways, but that's a pretty expensive burn.
Yeah, exactly. And I think ordinals are great, you know, for the NFT collecting community. And I'm glad that Bitcoin, someone figured out how to add even that much more utility to the chain. I mean, just because of the Bitcoin ordinal boom that's happening at this moment in time, Stacks, which is a layer 2 Bitcoin or layer 2
smart contracts on top of Bitcoin. Yeah.
They went up over 250% since the ordinals inception earlier this year in January.
So I love Stacks NFTs, by the way. I've been accumulating some Stacks NFTs. Yeah.
Yes.
Which, if anyone's curious, like for the alpha, probably the biggest project on Stacks for NFTs, Bitcoin NFTs, would be Megapont, and then Bitcoin Monkeys would be another one, and then what's the writing app they're developing? SIGLE, Sigil or Sigle, I don't know, but that's another one. Those NFTs, I think those are some good options on Stacks. But yeah.
What are the floor prices on those? Do you know offhand?
Megapont's probably 800 stacks. So I don't know. I haven't looked recently. But there's a lot of other 800 stacks. So maybe eight. What would that be? I don't know. Today's price is maybe $1,000.
Yeah,
maybe 1,200 at most for a Megapont floor. But then Megapont has some really, like, they have some projects that were airdrops, I believe, or at least just other projects developed by the same project, Megapont. So you have Wasteland Apes. I think they coordinated with some other projects that are big on Stacks. Then you had what else was there? Megapont Space Agency. Those are super cheap right now. Both of those are like maybe $10, $15, $20, and of course not financial advice. but those are interesting projects. I would follow anything in that regard. But Stacks is so early, it's hard to know which projects will be big. But it's exciting, right? Like, with ordinals, it feels special because how many people in crypto, and then the smaller subculture, how many people in NFTs are actually in ordinals right now? So, like, I've just been trying to find free mints, for ordinals. If you want actual Bitcoin ordinals, which are on chain, and then you have Bitcoin layer 2 Bitcoin NFTs, which are on Stacks, for example, which Lightning Network would be, for example, another layer 2. But Stacks seems like the front runner at this point for Bitcoin layer 2 solutions, specifically NFTs. But anyway, just so people understand the difference, you have Bitcoin NFTs, which are completely on chain, which would be ordinals, which are digital artifacts on Bitcoin, which are inscribed on chain. Then you have layer 2 Bitcoin NFTs, which are Stacks, for example, just so people understand the difference. But yeah, sorry, man.
That is how
I start losing my train of thought on this crap.
No, it's great, man, because we are like guys like you and I who are actually passionate about collecting and learning about how this is evolving. And, you know, it's exciting, right? It's
I
the most
love this.
thing I've ever collected in my life.
Isn't this amazing? Like you grew
Yeah.
up as a collector and now you're a collector still. It's like, how exciting are ordinals and even layer two Bitcoin NFTs? Like it feels like you said earlier, like it's like it kind of starting all over. As far as Bitcoin, as far as we know, these could become some of the most valuable assets in history. I mean, you're talking about digital assets that are completely immutable, completely decentralized on the safest network ever created in human existence, and they're here now. And like no one, even in the crypto community, which is a small community in itself, the crazy thing is most people on Wall Street still consider anyone buying any NFTs, even the Ethereum blue chips, we're still degens to them. You know, like that's how early we are to ordinals. So like, I don't know, anyone listening, like probably the fastest, easiest way would be generative.xyz, right? Is that, I think that's the domain. So like go on there, you can find ordinals that have free mints and you can actually use Ethereum. They use Taproot and they create a Bitcoin address for you. And then you can back up. I mean, it's open source. So it's open source Bitcoin people developing this. So it's still a little buggy at first, but you can export your private keys to your own wallet for your Bitcoin. And you can buy these Bitcoin ordinals with Ethereum. You just pay gas on these free mints, and then of course you pay the small inscription fee, which depends on the size of the file. So if you're talking about a really large file size that's in an ordinal that will be inscribed, then you probably are going to have to pay somewhere between $100-$120 max in gas fees. If you're talking about free mints for ordinals, you're probably with inscription fees, depending if it's completely on chain and like a small pixelated NFT on Bitcoin, then you're talking maybe $12 to $15, depending on Ethereum gas fees. So that's something to consider.
Yeah.
I don't know, Brad. I mean, I just love talking to another NFT person. It's just, how it is, man. How do you find people? It's such a small group of people you can have these conversations with. So
especially when they are a recluse like yourself and you don't come out and hang out with me.
I love this. Yeah, man. This is
talk NFTs all day, man.
This is all I do, man. I wake up and like I grab my phone and I start hunting rare NFTs or buy some free mints on ordinals or whatever. You know the life, man.
Yeah. So, yeah, the last time we hung out was earlier this year. It was January for Quantum Miami, and we got to a bunch of events. It was a great conference. It was all OG people there and serious builders.
And the people that are still here.
Yes, exactly. The real deal people. And we're both wearing some version of yellow because that's what Miami. And then we came up with this fake exchange called Lemon Swap because three had on.
Man, we gotta. One of us needs to buy that lemonswap.io or something, man. We were like, oh, there you go. By the way, yeah, thank you. Like, Stacks, you can buy .btc domains right now. If you go through, what's the site? Well, I guess it's not through Stacks. Actually, I think it's through Lightning Network. You can buy the .btc domains, but you can store them in your Wax wallet. So, yeah,
wow,
that's cool. Yeah, like, dude, they're like $2 right now, or like maybe $3 with Stacks price increase. You can buy a .btc extension, like for like $2 or $3. It's crazy. So lemonswap.btc. There you go.
And so how did we come up with that? It was like you, myself, and
Dottie. Yeah, Dottie. Yeah, she Dottie and I, like we did not coordinate it at all, and you didn't either. But like Dottie and I wore, like, she had a yellow dress on, and I had on this yellow shirt, and then we both had on like gray, or her dress had gray accents in it, and so like, and then you had on yellow shoes, and it was kind of funny. We're all standing around together at the table, and it was like, hey, what if all these people are here at Quantum shilling projects, what if we, as a funny joke, just tell people, yeah, we're with Lemon Swap, like, yeah, we're lemonswap.io, just so you guys know. Like, and then we just kind of did it as a joke to people. I mean, just kind of for the fun of it. So
yeah, it was hilarious, and it was really great universe timing. The universe is undefeated.
it was so random. It was like we're living in a simulation. I mean, we all happened to wear the same matching clothing. And then we were there, some of the few people that believe in crypto and NFTs still, and we developed that inside joke.
Yes. And then we went later that night, we went back to the house that we were all staying in.
Oh, yeah.
Bright yellow wall right there. So we got,
I said, I love Miami. And it was yellow with the gray and the black mixed in with it. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. We'll have to do a repeat of that for Bitcoin Miami for sure.
Let's walk to the moon.
Hell yeah. To the moon, baby. We do like an NFT collection of something like that.
Maybe we can make some ordinals, man.
Yeah. There's
Lemon Swap ordinals.
And I was trying to mint my logo for LeDrop WithCheese on the Bitcoin chain. And basically when I first tried to do it, I want to say the gas fees were like maybe $13. And then the other day I tried to mint a different ordinal and it was like $75 in gas to mint an ordinal. So the ordinal thing is kind of like gas wars with Ethereum. That's why I'm like, history's repeating itself here with the ordinals, but it should
get crazy. Yeah.
And now we get a chance to go back. But so you gave us some really good advice on, go to generative, do the free mints, pay the gas. You can use Ethereum.
I think that's the cheapest way to get exposure to Bitcoin ordinals, honestly. I mean, there are other exchanges. You have, what is it? Ord Swap. I mean, some of the other ones. I kind of struggle on the top of my head. Gamma.io, that's on Stacks. You can mint ordinals on there, or Stacks, layer 2 Bitcoin NFTs. So
yeah, so a good piece of advice is to buy the lowest inscription number you can get, right? That's like a rule of thumb.
Yeah, well, there's ordinal theory. Like, there's ordinal theorists that are kind of trying to figure out what the rarity would be. And there are some Satoshi. Okay, so with ordinals, each Satoshi is like a blank canvas, let's say, right? You can inscribe art, and actually there's some video games even. I bought Tetris as an ordinal. So they're getting very creative already with ordinals, what you can inscribe to Bitcoin network. But I think it's the maximum block size of 3.33 megabits or something. I don't know.
Oh,
yeah, I'm not that technical, so please don't hold me to that. But so there's a lot they can do on chain. But what was the question specifically?
When buying ordinals, is it that you want to look for the lowest inscription?
Okay, yeah, with rarity. Okay, so there's different theories for rarity in Bitcoin ordinals. There are Satoshis that would be considered common, uncommon, rare, and legendary and mythical, I believe. And so that's one theory, like just the actual Satoshi number that was inscribed. That is one metric of rarity, you might say. But I have my own theories that I'm kind of developing on this. And I'm chatting with other people, probably chat with you about this and my other friends as well. But, whenever Yuga Labs from Ethereum came into the ordinal space, they didn't inscribe until over 500,000 inscriptions. So, that kind of, in some ways, throws out the lower ordinal number inscription narrative out the window in some ways. Or is it that up until Yuga and these big brands come into the space for ordinals, that inscription numbers matter? So if you're still inscribing or under 1 million, would those be considered extremely rare ordinals? No one knows. How are we going to attribute rarity to ordinals this early on? It's such a new space. Like, we're talking maybe 2 months old, 2.5, 3 months max. It was Casey Rodomore started tweeting about ordinals. Maybe what was it? I don't know. January, late January, early February. I don't even know.
It was right Quantum Miami. Yeah. Like
Okay, so yeah, like nobody
or
was talking about ordinals and quantum. So good point. You know how fast this space moves. It's so hard to keep up with dates. Like I'm not some historian or like, I'm just some slightly little bit degen who just loves this space, and I just buy. If I hear anything that sounds cool, I go buy it. So like ordinals, but like ordinals feel special. Like it's something about it. It's like not many people are buying it. But anyway, as far as rarity, so I digress. Rarity, the early theory was, well, some Satoshis are more rare than others. Or if you get like a perfect number, like 500,000, 000, whatever the ordinal ends up being, then okay, that might be more rare than others. But then I think when Yuga Labs came in, I mean, let's just face it, a lot of the Bitcoin space in general, and I'm not trying to dog them, like they're brilliant people, but Bitcoin, like the maxis have one use case in mind, maybe two at most, like, store of value and a currency, maybe. But then you get the lightning people that want it to be a currency more than a store of value. So those are more layer 2 people. So it kind of opens the door to ordinals. Now you're going to have a lot of infighting. Like you said, there's going to be a battle. Like there were the gas wars. I mean, I've heard people say that ordinals are a bug on, in the Bitcoin network, and maybe they could vote to eliminate. I don't know how you stop it. It's immutable. It's already happened. Like you can't go back and change Bitcoin's ledger. It's not going to happen. Like these are inscribed NFTs, digital artifacts on chain. So anyway,
the worst.
Sorry, what's that?
I was just saying, like, worst case scenario is that they'll stop from future inscriptions.
Yes, and then we have the only ordinals that will ever exist, the rarest ones in the period. So I don't care. Exactly. See, like you get it all. You always get it, man. It's just, that's exactly it. So like, but Yuga Labs came in, they bring in the marketing expertise and the years of development in the NFT space on Ethereum. And there are plenty of on-chain NFTs if you don't like IPFS or, completely HTML, stored NFTs or whatever. Like, Ethereum has always had on-chain projects. They just haven't been that popular because people want, the larger the file size, you need to store it off chain. So, and people like, CryptoPunks is on chain, but then you have Bored Ape Yacht Club, which was IPFS. So, there's Bitcoin hasn't seen the battles that Ethereum already has. And the Ethereum whales, they understand NFTs and collectibles and how to develop them on different blockchains much more, because you have all of the side chains and the layer 2s on Ethereum. Ethereum's already seen all of this. So I see it as they are going to bring a lot of expertise to the Bitcoin ordinal space, and we're all going to win. So as far as the inscription numbers, just remember, people, Yuga Labs didn't inscribe until 535,000 inscriptions. So if you have any ordinals below that, you're probably going to do all right. Don't know, not financial advice. I don't see what it hurts to hold them if you're minting for free. Anything under $1 million, but who knows? And start looking for what worked on Ethereum NFTs. What works on there? I would look for that on ordinals, is my opinion. I don't know. What do you think, Joey?
Yeah, I think that's great advice. Is if you've been collecting on Ethereum, use that same strategy, and I do feel that you want to acquire the lowest possible inscription numbers that you can get your hands on as a collector.
Yeah, that's one sure metric that the ordinal theory already talked about. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Yuga Labs, maybe their choice to start inscribing at that moment or at that number has to do with, the successive 300 that they did in a row, those inscriptions. Maybe they knew that there was a whole bunch of rare Satoshis sprinkled into that specific chain block of,
they might have been hunting specific Satoshi numbers that were, or at least uncommon, if not already rare. Yeah, true.
Yeah. So one other thing, I kind of want to end with us just saying, like, what are the NFTs we're most proud of or that we love the most in our collection? But I also want to let everyone know that myself and Joe Miller have decided to create an in real life community called the Bitcoin Kings. And we're going to be blockchain agnostic. and we're going to have different community passes on all chains. So ordinals, we minted 5 ordinals 18 days ago. So
I remember Joe telling me about that.
That means that our inscription numbers are in the 300,000s. So
below Yuga.
Yeah, we are down, man. And so we're going to list those this week. And then next we'll probably do a bunch more on stacks, and then we'll go to Ethereum, and then we'll go to Tezos, and then we'll, hit up all these chains and just offer like 50 or member passes. That way, our community can be agnostic and it's not just all maxis, So
I like it, man. I like it.
Things.btc will be we have that domain already. But yeah, man. So tell me a little bit about what do you love in your collection? What are you never going to get rid of? And then which one do you value?
That's a tough question, man. I don't know. Like I love my early Veve NFTs, like the Marvel #1s and all those, and like the original Superman NFTs on there, like on Veve. Those are cool. I don't ever want to sell them, but I want to take profit at some point. I love wax NFTs. Recently, like as far as Bitcoin, or sorry, not Bitcoin, Ordinals definitely are on that list, but Ethereum NFTs, I would say the gaming NFTs. I really love just thinking. Parallel is my go-to. Prime, which is their token, just got listed on Coinbase, by the way, and there's some kind of partnership. So just sharing some alpha with you guys, early alpha as far as that. Not financial advice, of course, but Parallel, I love Parallel. I hunted really rare NFTs on there. There's a high supplies on there for a lot of NFTs, but that's by design. They are scaling, like they are going to scale big time, and their partnership with Coinbase, they just have to get through this bear market. I love Parallel. Huxley is a cool one recently I got into. The head developer of that project, he worked on Halo and Call of Duty. He was like a senior art director or something, but really cool project. They're making a film. I like that one a lot. I don't know. Like I could just keep going, man. Other Deed, Other Side, the Trip 2 is coming up. Anyone that has Other Deed, Another Deed for Other Side, the Bored Ape Yacht Club Metaverse. I will be on that trip on the 25th at, I believe it's noon Eastern time, if anyone else is interested. Sorry, what about you, man?
Yeah, that's amazing, man. I love, your passion for this space, and I'm so glad we got to talk. I would say for me, the most valuable ones that I own are Banksy. So he's, for people that don't know,
Banksy's. Oh, nice, man.
And he had a few different drops. His very first one was on the Engine blockchain.
I used to invest in Engine early. Yeah, I know.
So I have 5 of those on Engine, and then I have one Ethereum NFT of his that's part of a 10,000 collection. It's a gorilla in a pink mask, and there are 0 available out of 10,000 to purchase.
Wow. Oh, man. That's made your portfolio right there. You're good next bull market. You don't need anything.
Exactly. Like the Banksy's on Engine, like one of them, the floor price is like $40K. And I bought it for, I want to say 400. So it was definitely a good investment a couple years ago,
Oh, absolutely. Good job, man. That was a good one.
Do anything with them. But I would say the one that, for whatever reason, I just love this NFT, probably because I got it. Because I won the competition, right? So on Suite, which is a multi-chain NFT collecting platform, they basically do curated drops with sports teams, brands, companies that have a big following, basically. And they did one for the Kia Robo Dogs, that you saw in the Super Bowl commercial. Kia has this little Robo Dog. They offered 10,000, and it was a public mint. And I was able to collect Kia dog #1 out of 10,000.
Oh, nice, man.
And then I also
Yeah.
number 6 and number something else. Like I have a lot of low numbers on that one, but I don't know.
Yeah, I love hunting. Yeah, I love hunting rare NFTs like that, man. Yeah, nice pulls.
Yeah, and
Congrats, man.
obviously the sports ones, you know, I love so many sports ones. Another good piece of alpha is that if you do like collecting on wax, like Dean and myself, you should check out what they have. There's a lot of really low priced NFTs where you
Sorry, blockchain brawlers. That's a good play to earn project. I have a few of those. Sorry to interrupt.
That's a good one. And then also talk about stopping when you have momentum is tops. They're not doing NFTs anymore. And they're not
really. I didn't know that. Wow.
Whatever NFTs they have, and they're all on wax. They're baseball NFTs of real players. Like
I have some of those.
So I would grab those now because they're not going to be produced anymore.
Wow, I didn't realize that. Thank you, man. I'm glad I have some. I'm gonna get some more. Yeah.
I have like so many Cubs players. You know, you could see Wrigley Field.
Yeah, I noticed you're a Cubs fan, man. I liked Cubs as a kid. I grew up in Kansas, so like Chicago was the big city, you know.
And you probably do GN locally, right?
Oh yeah. We watched Bozo the Clown as a kid. I used to watch that. The grand prize game, right?
For sure, man. Well, it's been great, man. I always love you. You gave my audience so much alpha to learn how to collect on these different chains and solid projects that you vetted. And I appreciate your time, Dean. And I'll see you.
Thank you, man. Joey, this was awesome. And this is the very first time I've done something like this. So thank you. This was a really good experience. I appreciate you, man.
We'll have to check in with you more often to get
I'd love to, man. I'd love anytime you want to talk. Let's do this. This is fun. And I'll see you soon in Miami.
All right. Thank you so much, Dean. Appreciate you.
All right, brother. All right. Take care.